Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the range of Montane trousers that we keep here at Tour and Leisure. Okay, so first up we've got the Tenacity pant, which is a perfect option for anyone who's looking for a thicker, soft shell trouser. This uses the granite stretch material from Montane, which gives it a really good amount of stretch, but also a good level of abrasion resistance. So it's quite a durable trouser that's still providing a good amount of stretch and mobility. So it's perfect for hiking, climbing, multi-day backpacking. In terms of the warmth the trouser is going to give you, it's not the warmest trouser, but it's probably going to be warmer than some of the other options we're going to be looking at. Perfect sort of spring and autumn trouser, probably not quite enough for winter, but we'll come back to that in just a second. It's also worth noting that the fabric is coated in a DWR, which means it is going to shrug off a very, very light shower. If that rain is continuous, you're still going to want to put your over trousers on over the top of this. It's not fully waterproof. Looking at the trousers features, starting at the top, we've got an integrated belt, which is included with the trousers. A really nice system, nice and easy to do, very neat and tidy. But it's worth noting no other belt loops on the trousers, so you are fixed to using this belt. Behind that is a popper and fly system. The popper is a little bit different. Instead of having your traditional popper, which you can pop undone, you have to slide this one to the side and then out, which may seem a little bit frustrating, but it's actually a really nice feature because it means that when you're working hard, your popper isn't going to undo by accident or become frustrating at all. You've then got your normal flies just below that as well. Starting on the front of the trouser, we have got two sort of high waist pockets, both using YKK zips, and both easily big enough for a phone, a wallet, or any other things you might want to keep close to hand. Moving around to the back of the trousers, we are met by a rear pocket, perfect for the wallet, ID, those kind of things, and still using a YKK zip pocket. So a nice level of security on the trousers, so you're not going to lose anything that you put in those pockets, so keys and that kind of stuff. And then finally we have one zip pocket on the leg of the trouser just here. Again, big enough for those essential items, not quite big enough for a map. So if you like having your map in your pocket, probably not quite the right option for you, but still ample storage for maybe some snacks, your compass, things you might want quick and easy access to, but you don't want them sitting quite as high on the trouser. Moving our way down, we've got pre-articulated knees just to really help with that range of movement. As we mentioned, these are using a four-way stretch, so they're already really good, but by pre-articulating that knee, it adds less resistance when you're sort of climbing or having to do big maneuvers, and keeps the trousers more comfortable overall. And then finally we come down to the base of the trouser, right down by the ankle, and we've got a zip that runs up the side, and this allows us to adjust the volume of the trouser. We'll show you some close-ups of this in a second. And what it allows you to do is have a slightly different fit at the bottom of the trouser, which will help it get over more chunky boots, or if you prefer a slightly more tapered fit, zip it down and it'll fit a little bit more snugly around your footwear. So a nice option that really lets you tailor the trouser to fit you and suit you perfectly. On the same line as tailoring the trouser perfectly, it's time to talk about the fit, and this runs under Montane's athletic fit. So it's a slightly more tapered fit than a regular, so it's not quite as baggy and just sits a bit closer to the body. So I wouldn't call it a slim fit because it's not quite slim as it comes down to the bottom of the leg, but it is a more snugger fit than some of the other trousers we'll be looking at later on. And then finally, just to recap on who this trouser is for. If you're looking for a soft shell trouser for spring and autumn use, potentially summer as well if you run a little bit cold, then this is a really good option for you. It will perfectly suit your backpackers, mountain hikers, multi-day trekkers, and it could also fill the realm of a climbing trouser as well if you like that sort of soft shell feel. Okay, so next up we have the Tenacity XT, which is another member of the Tenacity family, but this one is orientated very much towards winter use. So we're still seeing that granite stretch fabric, but we're seeing it in a thermal capacity, so it's going to keep you a little bit warmer in those colder conditions. In terms of the features overall, we're still getting that integrated belt, but in addition to this, we're getting hook and loops options to add braces if that's what you would like to do. We are still getting the same popper and fly system as we've just seen on the previous Tenacity. Two front pockets here, both YKK zip. One rear pocket, just here for you. And then we've got the lower leg pocket here as well. You'll notice that on this model it has got a slight storm flap over the top of it, just to stop any snow or moisture migrating its way through the zipper. It just covers that nicely. Moving down, we see a few additional changes to what we've just seen. The first of all is a double-ended YKK zipper, which allows us to actually ventilate the trouser. So it might be that you're walking in and you're getting a little bit warmer and you want to let some air circulate through the trouser. You can do that by unzipping the vent, and there's loads of different ways of doing that to sort of adjust how much airflow you're getting. cool down a little bit, and then you can zip them up when you get back to maybe standing still and you're not working quite so hard. One on that side, one on that side as well. We've still got those pre-articulated knees to help with mobility and make sure that we can move as we would wish to when we're climbing, because this is definitely orientated towards winter hill walking, winter mountaineering, and maybe even a bit of winter climbing as well. At the bottom here, we've still got our volume adjuster here to allow us to go over a slightly chunkier set of boots if we so wish. And then we've got another difference, which is on the inside of the leg, and we're going to show you a close-up of this because it's not as clear on there for you. And that is a reinforced panel on the inside leg of the trouser, and that is on both sides of the trouser. What this is designed to do is make the trouser more durable in that location, because the chances are you're going to be using this with a set of crampons. And obviously, if anyone's used crampons, it doesn't matter how good you get, accidents happen, and you can often catch the inside leg of your trousers. So by putting this more durable material at the bottom here, it just helps with any of those scuffs and scrapes you might get as you're using the trouser with crampons, and make sure the trouser lasts a little bit longer. Just reinforcing what these are used for, these are a dedicated winter trouser. If you run a little bit cold, maybe you'll be able to use them a little bit in the spring, a little bit in the autumn, but for the most part, this is a dedicated winter trouser. And in terms of what you're going to be using this for, like I've mentioned, winter mountaineering, winter backpacking, and potentially a little bit of winter climbing as well. So next up we have the Terra pant, which is a staple within Montane's range and has been for a long time. It's a fantastic 3-season option for those of you that don't want the extra little bit of warmth that a soft shell style trouser would give you. We've got a tactile fabric on the outside of the trouser, which makes it really robust, but still very light and very thin, perfect for warmer conditions as well. And then we do see the reinforced material we've just seen on the XT, but on the knees this time, just to give you a bit of added durability. In terms of what this trouser is for, we're looking at a multi-day hiking and trekking trouser in 3 seasons, summer, spring, autumn. If you feel the cold a little bit, you might want something a little bit warmer than this. This is definitely on the airier side of the spectrum. It's also ideal for climbing. This fabric is incredibly abrasion resistant, so areas where you're going to be scuffing and scraping your way up, this trouser should be able to handle without any issues. Jumping into the features, we've got a semi-elasticated waistband, so the back of this got a bit of stretch to it to make it really nice and comfortable, but also mean it gives as you move and adapts with your body. We've got an included belt here, just like we've seen on the other trousers, but this time it runs through belt loops, so if you choose that that belt isn't quite right for you, you can pop a different belt on there, no problems. Coming down, 2 front YKK zip pockets, just like we've seen on previous models. 1 rear one over here, perfect for your wallet. And then we come down to a nice big vent. So this trouser again can be used in warmer conditions. It's a much lighter weight fabric, so they've included some really nice large vents in there going straight through. Really helps with air circulation, especially in warmer climates. It's going to be a really nice thing to wear and just allow some breeze and some air through the trouser. There's one of those on both sides as well. As we come down to the bottom, we go past our pre-articulated knees with that reinforced fabric, so it's again a bit more abrasion resistant. And then we've also got that fabric on the inside leg of the trouser, just an area that does tend to get a bit more abuse than the rest of the trouser, getting caught on boots and scuffed and scraped, that kind of stuff. Then, as we come down to the bottom, we are not seeing the volume adjustment system that we saw before. We are seeing a small amount of adjustment, but in a slightly different way. First thing you can do with this trouser is unzip it all. Trouser goes very baggy, makes it good for rolling up if you're doing river crossings, if you're out trekking, but it also gives you the option to unzip it using the first popper on the trouser, and again gives you like a bellow system to help move air into the trouser and cool you down a little bit. So again, really orientating this towards a warmer climate if you need it, but also that option to have it as a 3-season trouser if needed as well. What you can also do is do the zip up and then just use the popper system at the bottom to close up a little bit of that volume. It does not work as well in terms of volume reduction as what we've looked at from the other 2 trousers. It's a more streamlined design, but if you desperately need to, it can be achieved with that system there. And obviously you've got that on both sides. In terms of the fit, we do see a different fit now. Obviously we've seen an athletic fit on the last 2. This is a regular fit, so it's a slightly more baggy, more breathable, more airy fit. So it's not as close to the skin as you would have expected from the other trousers, and just gives you a little bit more room to, one, circulate air through, but also to breathe a little as well. So if you're looking for a 3-season trouser that's really durable but lightweight, perfect for packing into your pack for multi-day treks, or something that you want that's really highly abrasion resistant and perfect for a bit of climbing, then this is a really good option for you. A really good all-round 3-season trouser. Now it's time to explore our women's range, and we start here with the Terra Stretch. So very similar to the men's we were looking at earlier, but with a slightly different take on it for women. The first thing is this is the stretch model, so we're using a stretchy material rather than the one we just saw on the men's. This gives additional mobility, but it's still a very durable fabric as well. In terms of the features, we're seeing a nice soft touch waistband on the inside, and then we have our included belt with belt loops, so again you can swap it out for a different belt if you wish. It's a button and fly system here in terms of doing the trousers up. We've got two YKK zip pockets on the side of the trousers, and we have one using a YKK low profile zip on the back there, perfect for any essentials. Coming down the side of the trouser, we're met by our vent system here, again using a low profile zip so it really blends into the trouser. It's a very seamless looking piece of clothing, and we've got one of those on both sides just to help bellow air into the trouser and help cool you down. On the instep, we're seeing that super durable material that we've seen on a couple of the other trousers now on the kneecaps of the Terra we just looked at. Again, it's an area of the trouser that does take a bit of a beating from your boots, rocks, all that kind of stuff. So something a little bit stronger, a little bit more durable in there for you. And then finally for features, we've got a volume adjuster just like we saw on the NXT and the Tenacity range to allow you to get them over either a slightly chunkier pair of boots, or if you prefer a more slimmed down fit, do that zip down and it's a slightly slimmer cut. In terms of the fit, this runs under Montane's regular fit, so as we just discussed, a slightly baggier, looser fitting trouser just to allow for a bit more breathability, a slightly better range of movement, but also just a generally looser fit to be a little bit more comfortable. In terms of use, this is still more than adequate for 3-season use, certainly down here in the southwest as well. Perfect for multi-day trekking, backpacking, hiking, and potentially a little bit of climbing in there as well. Obviously not using as durable materials as the ones we just looked at on the knees, but still more than adequate for a bit of climbing as well. Next up we have the Terra Stretch Lite. So this is another generation of the Terra range. It's a little bit more stripped back than the previous model we were looking at, both in the fabrics they're using, slightly lighter weight fabrics, but also in some of the features as well. So we'll talk about that now. In terms of the fabrics, we're seeing the same fabric but a lighter version of it. It's still got that really nice stretch, it's got a good level of mobility and durability, but it's just a little bit thinner, a little bit lighter, so it's much better for those warmer ends of the year. So your early autumn, late spring, summer, really nice trouser for that, especially if you feel the warmth and you want something a little bit lighter weight. This is a fantastic option. In terms of the features, when we say they're stripped back, we're still getting a lot of the key features. We're getting that belt included with the belt loops, so we can change that belt out if we want. Button and fly system, pre-articulated knees, a rear YKK zip back pocket. Where we see some of those features being stripped back a little bit is we've just got normal hand pockets like you'd expect from a normal pair of trousers. There's no YKK zip on there. And we're not seeing any volume adjustment in the bottom of the legs either, nor are we seeing any of this reinforced material. So it's a slightly more stripped back version of what we just looked at, but in a sense that it's trying to be a slightly different trouser for you. So if you're looking for a slightly more stripped back, simple trouser that does a really good job at sort of warmer times of the year, it's a little bit more breathable and a little bit lighter when you're wearing it, then this is a really good option for you. This would easily suit multi-day backpacking, day walking and hiking in the warmer months, potentially a little bit of climbing, but I don't think it's quite as orientated for that as some of the other models we've looked at today. In terms of the fit, this is still running under that regular fit, just like the last pair of Terras were. So a slightly more baggy, loose-fitting trouser that's a little bit more airy in those warmer months. So that was a quick run through of our Montane trouser range. If you've any questions about the trousers we've looked at today, or any of the other ones on our website, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, and we'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. Don't forget to like and subscribe, it really does help us out and helps us continue making content like this. We'll see you next time.